everybody, what is up? My name is Mackenzie.
And I'm Jonathan.
We are husband and wife, and together we are TerreDice Games.
And today we're taking you on a tour of some of our favorite games from the ancient world.
Yep, that's right. Now, you may notice we are not in our normal studio location. In fact, we are on vacation, and that is in fact not the Brooklyn Bridge. But let's carpe diem and get started. First up, we have Pandemic Fall of Rome by Z-Man Games. Pandemic Fall of Rome is a reimagined version of the classic and popular game Pandemic. In Fall of Rome, you are playing as the people of Rome trying to stop the decline and defend the city from barbarian tribes. As you march through the Roman Empire, you must recruit armies, fortify cities, and forge alliances. Each role you can play with unique abilities that can help improve your team's chances. Work together, use your skills wisely, and stop the fall of Rome. So that is Pandemic Fall of Rome in a nutshell. And Fall of Rome basically uses the pandemic system and expands upon it and develops a whole new world. And I really enjoyed this game because of the theming. They go really in depth with theming because Rome didn't just fall because of the invaders. There were tons of different things that went to its fall. And so I really enjoyed that aspect that they took all of that. Yeah. And then I really also liked that you didn't have to eradicate all of the tribes. Instead, you could also make peace treaties, which is one of the differences between the original Pandemic.
Yeah, and they handled that really, really well. And another thing that I liked about it was that you don't just infect cities. It's not the cubes just start popping up anywhere. They're marching from a destination and they're all headed to Rome. So I really like that there's this sort of like, you put it in the next spot, moving closer to Rome, and how they do those invasions.
Yeah.
I also really liked you take a bunch of soldiers with you. So you got this like army that you can bring with you. I just really like the things that they expanded on and made new. I also really liked, so you have those player event cards still, but they give you the option to like double the power that they have, and you can put Rome further into decline. So you can like do things to like get more warriors, get more soldiers, get more actions, but you'll pull Rome into decline yourself, which is another way you can lose. If you like the pandemic system, you may love this game. So they've done a really clever job re-theming it with this brand new theme. I would say the things that are different that you may not like are there's luck introduced, so there are dice. So when you go and you attack a city, you roll these dice based on the number of soldiers you brought with you, and you might take out some barbarians. You might just lose all your soldiers and you're stuck. So we lost on a bad roll in the last card in the deck, which was real sad. Up next, we have Labyrinthos, published by Dogmite Games and designed by Lindsay Rode.
Labyrinthos is a maze-like dungeon tile game where you compete to find all 4 hidden keys within the maze and be the first to escape while trying to avoid the grasp of the Minotaur. The maze is always changing and surprises lie around every corner. Each turn you have 7 actions to play, some requiring the use of your feet and some your hands. It's up to you to balance what you will need the most each turn. As you find keys, you will have to place them on your board, covering up your different abilities. Each round, a different hero will roll the die for the Minotaur and decide his actions for that turn, thus each playing a part in the other's fate. I like this game a lot. I really enjoy games where there's that hidden tile aspect, so that every time you play the game, it's going to look different on the board, and there's little surprises around every corner. I like that a lot. I was worried when I first saw this game that the tiles might be difficult to flip. I really didn't find that to be a problem at all, especially because we were given a mat for this game, and it really helped with that tile flipping, and it's absolutely gorgeous, that mat. But we tried it without the mat, and the tiles...
It didn't really change the game.
It didn't really change at all.
That was good.
And speaking of that, Labyrinthos is actually the inspiration behind today's game. Lindsay Rode, the designer, reached out to us and asked if we'd like to play this game and talk about it to you guys.
So the action management system in this game is really unique. I love games that make you sort of predict what you're gonna need next turn, and you gotta play those cards before you really know how the board's gonna look. And this is one of those games. So you have to decide ahead of time, are you gonna have more hands, are you gonna have more feet? But I love games that give you then the flexibility to decide what you do with it. So you still have the chance to go, whoa, I can't actually do that, I want to do something else instead. And so this game implements that through the hands and feet tokens. One thing I will say, you have 7 actions and you got 7 of those tokens. So if you're not taking really simple actions like move, 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 it can be kind of fiddly to go back and forth between, flipping those tokens over, say, okay, use these ones, I didn't use these ones yet. But I think other than that, it's a really cool system. The way you take damage makes you lose some of your abilities so that you can't perform those abilities in the game. it's really cool.
Yeah, I think 7 actions at the beginning of the game it feels like a lot, but it's one of those systems that as you play the game, it really starts to speed up. The Minotaur in the game, which actually is controlled by everyone in the room, everyone gets a chance to play it. He is interesting because you can stick him in a corner. If the group decides they don't want to deal with him, they can actually stick him in a corner and he doesn't really come out.
He just kind of like runs back and forth as players are moving him.
Yeah, but if you wanted to, you could really be that player that really tries to stick him after everyone. You could make that much more interactive. I just felt like instead of the game controlling the Minotaur, it really was left up to players' choice if they want to deal with it.
One of the things we really enjoyed about this game was the production value. So the components had these really nice, rich colors. You had these really, really great prints, great cardboard. Everything was really, really good quality, which we enjoyed. Yeah. The tiles were really nice too. The art also just had this really unique style that was done really well across the whole game.
And then there's also different characters you can play with besides the Minotaur. Well, we have Medusa and then the 3-headed dog.
The Cerberus, yeah.
Yeah, those also work really well into the game.
One unique twist that the Labyrinthos game had was actually its rulebook. I actually really enjoyed reading through the rulebook because it's done in a very professional way, but also a very casual way. There's a lot of things in there like choose the way that your people choose the first player. And then it was a lot of different jokes and things about this is the character's name. We spent a lot of time researching it, but you can call them whatever you want. I really, really like stuff like that. I thought it was really, really fun. And it was just a really cool personal touch that I think more game designers should do, honestly.
And last but not least, we have 7 Wonders Duel by Antoine Baza and Bruna Catala. Now, we're actually going to be focusing on the new expansions for this game, Agora and Pantheon. If you want to hear our thoughts on the base game, then you can check out Best Board Games for Couples, where we actually talk about 7 Wonders Duel.
Yeah, this is a favorite of ours.
Yeah, it is. It's one of my favorite 2-player games. But let's jump into the expansions. In Pantheon, gods of the ancient civilizations are taking things up a notch. Each god has a power that can help you or hinder your opponent. During Age 1, you collect mythological tokens, which allow you to choose which deity will be placed in the Pantheon. During Age 2, you collect offering tokens, which help you court these deities. Then, during Age 2 and 3, you can activate a god or a goddess in the Pantheon instead of taking a card from the pyramid. To do so, you can pay whatever the god or goddess demands from you for the offering, then place it next in your city. Agora features a new board called the Senate, offering players another way to win the game. It comprises 6 separate chambers that provide players with benefits once they take possession of the area. Should any player successfully take control of the majority of the Senate chambers, they automatically win the game.
Now, we were already fans of the 7 Wonders Duel base game. Now, we played it a bunch of times, and what did these expansions have that the base game didn't? Honestly, we still think you could play the base game over and over. We love that game. But these expansions give you really awesome new ways to play. So I think probably the thing we liked the most was that both Pantheon and Agora, we felt like we could play them both individually. We felt like we could both play them together with the base game as well. And they forced us to use different strategies. That was what I loved most. When you have all these different ways you can win, the other player can sneak around and try to win other ways that they don't usually win, and you're having to adjust your strategy. It also, with Agora, it made you get a lot more blue cards, which were cards I never really focused on before. One thing I loved about Pantheon in particular was that the gods were so thematic. I loved that the Mesopotamian gods were all about math and science. You had the Roman gods that were all about war, and the Greek gods were all about smiting cards out of the deck or raising cards from the dead from the discard. So I really loved that these, they were very, very themed. The same was true with Agora. I felt with Agora that the idea of these politicians and this sort of court and backstabbing and Senate and all that, I thought was done very, very well.
Yeah, I really liked how it brought in more aspects of the ancient world. I like that they brought in the religious aspect as well as the real life Senate politics and the backstabbing that did take place.
And it's not just the soldiers you see on the front, it is these 7 wonders. So it's a lot of the world, a lot of the ancient world all kind of pulled together. And I think that they've done it in a really cool thematic way. Okay, so which one was your favorite?
Oh gosh. I think Pantheon is my favorite. I really like that you can set gods for it would cost me less to get this god's favor, and it would cost you more. I love that aspect.
Individually, I would say Pantheon but now that I've played both of them together, I would say I love playing with all of them together. Because the thing with Agora is to be sneaky with the Senate. I almost won control that one time.
Yeah, you
I
did.
had all but one Senate seat filled, and I just love the idea of like trying to sneak the politicians in while you're not looking.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's a really fun, like, that's a third way that you can just insta-win, just like war and science.
Yeah.
And that's probably my favorite individual mechanic.
I would recommend this game to the people that already have a really good concept of the base game, because when you combine them both, there is a lot going on with these expansions. You have to keep track of a lot of different things. Senate opens up a new opportunity for an instant win, so you have to like keep track of everything, and so it can be overwhelming for someone with analysis paralysis on what exactly to focus on.
It is a long game with both expansions.
It is
well over an hour.
It is very pretty on the board, so if you're on the fence, I would maybe get one and see how you do with that before go ahead and jumping to 2 expansions at once. All right, everyone, and that is our favorite games of the ancient world. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does help us keep going and put out new board game videos every single week. And please comment down below on what your favorite ancient world game is. I love this theming, and I'd love to try out some more, so please tell me.
Happy playing!